Hey guys, what's going on? Kryoz here. So today I'm going to be going over the change for Frost Mage's Mastery Frostburn, and I'm going to be testing the difference of the damage it is now and the damage it is on the PTR at this point in time. Today is June 23rd, so we'll see how big of a damage difference it's going to be with the 2% on our Ice Lance and Brain Freeze and our pet. Now it did get changed. Now it's just going to be the way it is we're going to have an extra 2% on what we have now on our Ice Lances and our Brain Freeze and our pet's damage. But right now, it's all of our spells deal the X% of mastery increased damage against frozen targets and increases our water elemental damage done by 39%. So it kind of will nerf some of the spells that we actually put on people when they're frozen, but we'll see how big of a difference that is. The spells I plan on testing, it's going to be Frostbolt, Ice Lance, Frostfire Bolt, Nether Tempest, Frozen Orb, and Frostbomb. We're going to see how big of a damage difference those are and see maybe that's why they buff Frostbomb and why they buff Nether Tempest and why they buff Living Bomb is because the way they changed the mastery. They might not do as much now, but they still want to keep them viable and have them actually still do damage. So for the first test, let's test Ice Lance. Now, let's go ahead and root this target. Let's get rid of our Fingers of Frost because it does do more damage that way. I just want to see just frozen damage. So it's about 77k for that one. And so 77k, I think that's just a good amount. Let's root him again. Get one more attack on him. And that one was 88k, but I did have Surge of Dominance, so that's a little bit cheating. So 77k. 77.8k is what I got for Ice Lance. A pretty decent number. That's not Fingers of Frost, so it doesn't do the extra 25%. I don't want the Fingers of Frost extra damage in there. I literally just want the raw mastery damage. So next, let's test the Frostbolt. So Frostbolt does hit harder. I know they buffed it, I'm pretty sure. And for this, I am going to dismiss my pet because I do have a macro that makes it automatically attack. So let's go ahead and Frostbolt this. So 129k. That's a pretty big number. A lot bigger than I was expecting, to be honest. And that's with 0 buffs on. So that's actually a pretty decent amount of damage. Let me call up my pet real quick again. And just cast another Frostbolt. So another 128.9k. I'll just say 128. I'll just say 130k for Frostbolts. Actually, let's deep them real quick and get one more in there just to be sure. 135k. And so I'll just say 130k just to be safe. That's with 3 tests, and that's the average. So 130k for Frostbolts. Another really big. I actually wasn't expecting that big for Frostbolts. But, I mean, you don't really sit there and cast Frostbolts all day. Be kind of silly. So, next we are going to test the Brain Freeze or the Frostfire Bolt. So, let's go ahead and have that pop. Root the target, get rid of both of those buffs, and just Frostfire Bolt it. 116k for the first test. So, now let's test this again. 116k again. So far it looks like it's probably going to be 116k. Now one last time with the root, and it didn't crit. So I'm just going to say 116k for Frostfire Bolt. So another pretty impressive number. And we have to remember that this is getting buffed by 2%. But I don't think Frostbolt will be in that. So Frostbolt won't hit for as much. It'll probably stay around the same. Ice Lance will probably jump to, I would have to say maybe 90k-ish. It would be my guess of where it would probably jump to. So, let's switch to Nether Tempest and see what that hits. So, Nether Tempest, we're only going to be looking at the target itself, not the target around it. So, let's go ahead and put a Nether Tempest on it. And it looks like it's ticking for 19k crits, 9.3k non-crits. So, pretty decent amount of damage, a lot of crits, and that's because I had it rooted whenever I first put it on it. So 19k crits, 9.3k non-crits. Quite a bit of damage, especially when on multiple targets. Now, let's just test that one more time. So 19k crits. That time I did have a mastery buff, so it is a little bit higher than last time, but not by much. So looks like 19k crits with only 9k non-crits. So now it's time to test the main damage source behind Frost Mages, and that is Frostbomb. So let's go ahead and place a Frostbomb on this target and deep it just to be safe, and let's see what it hits. 271k. Now you guys gotta remember, this is on a training dummy, and usually what you get with Frostbomb is gonna be damage taken away. I don't know if reducted is an actual word, because Frostbomb doesn't hit its full damage on other players. So let's test it one more time and see what it hits. Another big number. The first time it was 281k. The second time it was 281k. First time it was 271k. So pretty close numbers. Let's just say 275k, and let's move on to the next one. So this next one's gonna be kind of hard to test because it is an AoE spell. So I'm gonna try and focus it just on this one training dummy. So let's go ahead and root him and send my Frozen Orb that way. So 40k crit. Oh, 28k crits. So 15k non-crits it looked like, and probably about 25k crits. We'll just say 25k because one was 40k, but then the other ones were like 28, 28, 29. So I think 28k crits or 25k crits, and it was 15k non-crits. Not that bad of damage, especially considering it gives you free Fingers of Frost proc. So let's move on to the PTR now, and let's test the numbers on there. So here we are on the PTR, so let's go ahead, do the same Ice Lance test that we did with 0 Fingers of Frost, and hit an Ice Lance and let it crit. 54k, now you guys might be wondering, why is this so much lower? I have the same spell power, or close to the same spell power, 2.5% more mastery, mostly because of the 2% more that we got. And some random 0.5 percentage. But now you guys might be wondering, why is it hitting so softly? I guess is maybe that's what you're thinking. But if you guys read it, Fingers of Frost increases damage. Fingers of Frost now increases the damage of Ice Lance by an additional 41.5%. Now I wanted to show you guys this because this is actually, in a way, a damage nerf for Ice Lance. Now granted, yes, if we have Fingers of Frost up, it's going to hit pretty hard, around 96k. But if we take a look on live right now with the Fingers of Frost on and the main rooted, I still hit for around the same amount. So really, the way they did it with the Fingers of Frost and the Ice Lance, it was actually more of a nerf. So don't be too happy about that part, but the Brain Freeze and the Pet doing more damage, those are pretty good. Now also keep in mind, I'm hitting just as hard with 2.5% less mastery, and so that's not a ton, but that's 2.5% less damage that I am doing. So imagine if I had 2.5% more mastery, I'd probably be hitting even closer to 100k, probably like 98.5 if I had to guess. I'm not too good with math instantly in my head, but around that amount is what I'll be hitting with 2.5% more mastery. Now I also have pretty close to the same spell power. I believe on PTR I have a few hundred more. So let's hop back on the PTR and go ahead and test some other spells that we did have. So Ice Lance, what was it? I think it was 54k without Fingers of Frost, but it was around 96k with Fingers of Frost. So all in all, Ice Lance, kind of a nerf. So let's test Frostbolt. Frostbolt on live was in for 130k. On here, whenever it crits, it goes for 90k. So that's a pretty big nerf to Frostbolt as well. Let's just do that one more time, just kind of show. 90k, 95k. So around a 35 to 40k damage drop from Frostbolt. So let's check Frostfire Bolt. Let's see how big of a change this is gonna be. On live, Frostfire Bolt hit for around 116k. On here, relatively the same amount, not too big of a change, so that's good. We didn't get nerfed everywhere, so we can live happy about that. I know I'm happy about it. So that's around the same. So luckily Frostfire Bolt didn't get changed too much. So now let's give it a go with Nether Tempest. Let's pop the Nether Tempest on there with them rooted, because we did the same thing. So it looks like 13.4k crits and 6k non-crits. That's down from the 19k crits and 9k non-crits. Let's go ahead and test Frozen Orb. I'm going to try and make it only hit one target, although it might be a little bit hard. It is hitting both, hitting for 14k and 28k crits. Not a huge change there, but you know, that really didn't change because it only hits once when they're in the root, and after that it breaks. So the damage from that won't really change much. Pretty much the same damage there, so that's a good thing, and it still generates Fingers of Frost procs, and I actually think we actually have a higher chance to generate Fingers of Frost procs from anything that can. So now let's move on to the last one. I think the scariest thing we're about to see is I feel like the damage from this is going to drop immensely, but let's hope I'm wrong. So let's place the Frostbomb on there in a root, and let's see if the damage changes. 190k. That is a huge damage difference. Let's go ahead, do that one more time just to double check. Let's place a root on it, and let's see what it hits. 190k. That is 85k damage less than it is on live. Now, you guys have to remember, this is the same exact setup as I have on live. You know, same spell power, same stuff like that. You know, I don't have any more mastery, so you do have to remember that this is just with the Frostfire change, not really the gear that we're going to have by, you know, halfway through next season or whenever we get fully geared. This isn't when we're fully geared or anything like that. I just want to show you guys that this mastery change for us really isn't that amazing. So all in all, this does look like a nerf for mages, but not too bad of a one. You guys gotta remember this doesn't go in effect till 5.4, and in 5.4 we will be getting stronger gear, so these numbers won't be exactly this. And also, this was on a 0 resilience non-player target, so it had no resistance as anything, no resilience, no armor, even though armor doesn't really affect, you know, spells. But these would be the numbers if the mastery change went live right now. These would be around what the numbers are. But when next season comes, they will go up a little bit. Not too sure how much yet, though. I will do more testing. I'll let you guys know as soon as I can. But for now, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. And leave a comment down below your thoughts about this. I don't think it's going to be too bad. I think next season, when we get geared, we really won't notice much of a difference. We might notice a small damage nerf, but I really don't think it'd be too bad, to be honest. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.